The film opens with the narrator explaining that many people in the Jianghu region are afraid of the sacred Sun-Moon sect, led by Ren Wuxing, who is notoriously evil and merciless. Because of his evil, Ren Wuxing even killed his followers, so the remaining followers chose to side with the invincible Eastern warrior sect. Because of this, several times there were people who claimed to be the leader of the invincible Eastern warriors and wanted to duel with Ren Wuxing. However, Wuxing managed to kill them all and hang them on the cliff of the dark forest. Until finally a woman named Dongfang Bubai appeared, who claimed to be the invincible Eastern warrior. Wuxing underestimated her and immediately attacked her. However, the woman was able to avoid every attack by Wuxing and used her technique, namely needles and threads. With his unique ability, Bubai then threw the fire cauldron towards Wuxing and followed it up with his needle, which stuck right into Wuxing's right eye. After that, Bubai continued to shoot out hundreds of needles that penetrated Wuxing's body and imprisoned him. Thus, Bubai won the duel and became the new leader of the Sacred Sun-Moon sect. The scene then shows a young man who likes to drink. He is Ling Hu Chong, who is in the Huasan sect. Along with that, an old grandfather named Feng Qingyang appeared, who is an elder in the Huasan sect. When the two were chatting, Qingyang felt the arrival of someone from outside the Huasan sect. And sure enough, when he looked, it turned out that there was Ren Yingying, who turned out to be the daughter of Ren Wuxing. He came with his colleague named Lan Feng Huang. However, their arrival was not welcomed well by the Huasan people until a mob attack occurred. Seeing this incident, Ling Hu immediately saved the two of them and was willing to fight one of the Huasan leaders, Zhou Lingchan. However, his heroic actions were considered wrong because Ling Hu helped and befriended someone from the demon sect. Therefore, Ling Hu was taken to his master, Yuebu Weikun. When brought before Yuebu Weikun, Ling Hu explained that he was friends with Ren Yingying because they both liked music, and it had nothing to do with a matter of occult knowledge. So this time, Yuebu Weikun forgave Ling Hu. But he still reminded Ling Hu not to be friends with Ren Yingying again, and was ready to attack if he saw someone from the devil's occult again. But the stubborn Ling Hu refused to do that. Ling Hu's friends, including Yuebu Weikun's daughter, Yue Lingsen, then tried to defend Ling Hu and begged the master to give him leniency. This made Yue Lingsan even more annoyed, so that his men were ready to draw their swords. But suddenly a strong wind appeared and controlled the swords. It turned out that it was because of Feng Qingyang, who had the power of the legendary sword. Qingyang also allowed Yuebu Weikun to punish Ling Hu according to the rules of Huasan, which was to leave the Huasan school. Not only that, Ling Hu also destroyed his own inner strength that he had trained for 10 years. After that incident, Qingyang decided to help Ling Hu and transferred his inner energy equivalent to 20 years of Ling Hu's training and made him his only disciple. Meanwhile, in another place, Dongfang Bubai met his unnamed master. The man with the tall crest was willing to do anything to learn the sunflower art, including being willing to be castrated. However, his efforts were not enough to master it to level 9. In addition, this master had 12 students, and 11 male students also tried to master the sunflower art. But they could only reach level 4 to 5, until finally the master realized that the student who was able to learn to the highest level was the only female student, who was none other than Dongfang Bubai. So the master wanted Bubai to control the entire Jianghu region. We then return to Ling Hu, who now lives with Feng Qingyang at the top of the Cliff of Redemption. There, Qingyang teaches Ling Hu the 9 Dubu sword technique. However, during the training, Ling Hu only mastered 8 sword moves, because the 9th move can only be mastered if the person understands himself. So that each person cannot be the same in how to learn it, because each person has a different character. Then when Ling Hu and Qing Yang were eating, they saw a poisonous centipede, which made them wonder because in this place it was rare to find poisonous animals. From there, Ling Hu realized that it signified the arrival of Ren Yinying and Leng Fenghuang. But when the two of them arrived at the other side of the Cliff of Redemption, it turned out that the bridge they usually crossed was no longer there. And of course, with the aim that people from other sects would not enter the Huasan, so Ying Yin deliberately played the lute as a sign of her arrival. But Ling Hu didn't want to meet her, so Qing Yang told Ling Hu to follow his own heart. After contemplating, Ling Hu finally met Ying Yin. There, Ying Yin and Feng Huang gave Ling Hu an American-made sacred Sun Moon shrine as a thank you because Ling Hu had previously saved them from the wrath of the Huasan. Not only that, Ying Yin also said that an invincible Eastern warrior had taken over the sacred Sun Moon shrine and held Ying Yin's father hostage, and it was certain that the warrior's actions would cause bloodshed. Therefore, Ying Yin wanted to ask Ling Hu for help to save Ying Yin's father. Initially, Ling Hu refused because he no longer wanted to deal with the devil's shrine and chose to live a quiet life. But Feng Huang also told that the three figures of the sacred Sun Moon sect, who had now joined the invincible Eastern swordsmen, were gathering at the forest cliff and blocking Yueling Shan with other Huasan disciples who were passing by. Hearing that, King Yang Pun appeared and gave Ling Hu his sword with a broken tip. With that, King Yang wanted Ling Hu to go save them and find his own way of life.
有心思过，令狐冲，故人素西风。
As a result, Ling Hu, Ying Yin, and Feng Huang also went to the cliff of the Dark Forest. Meanwhile, on the cliff of the Dark Forest, Yueling Shan and other Huasan disciples were facing three sacred Sun Moon figures, namely Tan Wu Yu, Si Bishu, Chen Huixing, and the Blind One, Qi Wu Ming. Without waiting long, Tan Wu Yu attacked the Huasan disciples. Until finally Ling Hu appeared, who was able to push Tan Wu Yu far enough. Ling Hu then told Ling Shan and the others to retreat. Meanwhile, Ling Hu, Ying Yin, and Feng Huang fought the three. With his expert sword skills, Ling Hu was able to cut off Tan Wu Yu's and Feng Huang's hands and also stab the blind man, Qi Wu Ming's heart. But unexpectedly, Tan Wu Yu managed to reattach his hands, and the blind man was still alive even without a heart. It turned out that the invincible Eastern warrior made pills from the brains of three corpses to perfect the sunflower scripture technique. The Eastern warrior also told his followers to take the pills so that they were difficult to defeat. Even so, Ling Hu tried to fight the three in the hope of finding their weak points. And sure enough, when Ling Hu used his sword technique to create a very strong wind, the three enemies immediately chose to run away. After that incident, Ling Hu asked Feng Huang to look after Ling Shan and the other Huasa disciples. Meanwhile, Ling Hu followed the three enemies who were then followed by Yin Yin. Then on top of the waterfall, Tan Wu Yu was seen meeting Dongfang Bubai. But at the same time, Ling Hu also appeared trying to protect Bubai from Tan Wu Yu. Unbeknownst to Ling Hu, this Bubai turned out to be an invincible Eastern warrior. However, Bubai also pretended to be innocent and coded Tan Wu Yu to attack him. Then when the attack was heading towards him, Bubai deliberately fell into the river, which was then helped by Ling Hu. Bubai then gave Ling Hu some wine, which made Ling Hu addicted because it was the most delicious wine he had ever drunk. Ling Hu then asked about Bubai's name, but Bubai admitted that she did not have a name. So Ling Hu gave her the name Sa Yu. Ling Hu, who thought that Bubai was an innocent girl who lived in the forest, then invited her to come with him and leave the forest. but Bu Bai refused and said that the forest was the most comfortable place for her. As a result, Ling Hu left to continue his journey and promised to meet Bu Bai when his business was finished. Meanwhile, Feng Huan is looking for Ling San and the others, but he is suddenly attacked by a mysterious person. Meanwhile, on the other side, Ling Hu, who is walking in the middle of the forest, is also attacked by someone, and when Ling Hu managed to knock him down, it turned out that the person was Master Yue Bui Kun. At
Di
night,
malam
Ling Hu
harinya,
and Bui
Ling Hu
Kun
dan
rested
Bui
under a
Kun
large
beristirahat
rock.
di bawah batu besar.
Ling Hu then told
Ling
the
Hu kemudian
chronology of how he
menceritakan
came to be in
kronologi
this
bagaimana
forest.
ia bisa.
你點解會喺度？
Bui Kun also revealed that Ling San and the others were captured by the invincible Eastern warrior cult and taken to the cliff of the dark forest. So the two of them immediately went there to help Ling San and the others. Bui Kun then took Ling Hu down the cliff and planned to climb up the cliff. But in the middle of that, Bui Kun took out his dagger and cunningly wanted to stab Ling Hu. Luckily, his attempt failed because suddenly many arrows targeted them. So Ling Hu, who didn't know anything, decided to scatter. Not long after, Bui Kun turned out to be a traitor and became a follower of the invincible Eastern warrior to get the Sunflower Book. Bui Kun also took the brain pills of 3 corpses, which made him stronger.
不死不灭。
多謝教授。
Bu Bai then asked Bui Kun to capture 3 other leaders in Huasan who were members of the 5 Mountain Sword Sect Alliance. That night, Ling Hu infiltrated the Sun Moon Sacred Sect to release his friends. It should be remembered here that the invincible Eastern warrior had previously succeeded in taking over the Sun Moon Sacred Sect. So when he entered, Ling Hu met Bu Bai, whom he knew as Sao Yu. Bu Bai pretended that he came to the place to look for wine. As a result, Bu Bai offered his help to release Ling San and the others. But before that, the two of them drank first.
推一寸圆，
你最喜欢哪里啊？
当然是华山。
这江湖霸业。
Bu Bai then asked Ling Hu why he didn't try to rule Jianghu like the other leaders. But Ling Hu admitted that he was not interested in fame and power because it would cause a lot of grudges and problems. Ling Hu then invited Bu Bai to come with him and see the outside world after they freed Ling Hu's friends. So Bu Bai agreed to his invitation. The two of them then began their action where Bu Bai pretended to capture Ling Hu and put him in a cell with Ling San and the others. And that's when Ling Hu and the others attacked the guards and fled. As they are about to leave, Ling Hu is attacked by a mysterious person who turns out to be Shang Wentian, along with Ying Yin, who came to free Ren Wuxing. So Ling Hu asked Xiang to take Ling San and the others away from that place. Meanwhile, Ling Hu and Ying Yin freed Ren Wuxing. However, the room that locked Wuxing was locked tightly, so Ling Hu again tricked the guards into opening the room. After the guards arrived, Ling Hu immediately took them all down with just one attack. Meanwhile, Ying Yin meets her father, who is being held hostage by being stabbed in the chest.
往后退。
Ren Wuxing was finally free and vented his anger by killing his soldiers who had turned to the invincible Eastern warrior, including Tan Buyu, Si Bisu, and Si Buta.
真教主，他们都已经投降，何苦再杀他们？
何须与他们婆婆妈妈？所有叛将，难逃一死！
After that, Wu Xing entertained Ling Hu and offered to join him to defeat the leader of the Eastern warriors. However, Ling Hu was not interested in joining him and chose to return to the Huasan culture. As a result, Ling Hu left and met Ling San and other students. They then had drinks to celebrate their togetherness again.
华山，
这一刻，咱们再也不分开了。
大口吃肉，大碗喝酒。
At night, when the others were asleep, Ling Hu left secretly because he still had an appointment with someone. Who else if not So Yu or Bu Bai? Then when Ling Hu passed the fence, he saw Yue Bui Kun enter a hut. And it turned out that Bui Kun was carrying out his mission, which was to kill 4 of his friends who joined the 5 Mountain Sword Alliance. Seeing this, Ling Hu was shocked and disappointed with Bui Kun, who did such a cruel thing for the sake of the Sunflower Book. Bui Kun then expressed his regret because he had no other choice to gain great power. And when Ling Hu was off guard, Bui Kun immediately took the opportunity to stab Ling Hu's heart until Ling Hu was unconscious. But at the same time, Bu Bai appeared and quickly beheaded Bui Kun. Bu Bai then took Ling Hu to a house where Bu Bai treated Ling Hu's wounds. Not long after, when Ling Hu regained consciousness, Ling Hu revealed that he had come to fulfill his promise to take Bu Bai out and take her somewhere. And after what they had been through, finally the two of them began to have feelings for each other. In the morning, Bu Bai found that her face suddenly became scabbed, so she decided to leave Ling Hu secretly. After finding that Bu Bai had left him, Ling Hu intended to return to the other Huasan students. But in the middle of the journey, he saw people worshiping the leader of the Eastern warriors. Even though Bu Bai was now wearing a mask, Ling Hu still recognized her. And from here, Ling Hu realized that the woman he loved was actually the leader of the invincible Eastern warrior demon sect. Meanwhile, Feng Huang, who was caught, was then brought before Bu Bai, where Bu Bai used her needle and thread to stab Feng Huang's neck and then drank her blood. Instantly, the scabs on Bu Bai's face were completely healed. Bu Bai then met Ling Hu when Ling Hu already knew everything. Of course, Ling Hu was angry with Bu Bai's dishonest act from the start and then just left.
我是谁又如何，叫什么名字重要？
没有人肯亲近我，是非常美好的回忆。
我不想再看见你。
Ling Hu then arrived at Huasan and found his entire place burned and his disciples massacred. But fortunately, Ling San was still alive, even though both of his eyes were blind. Ling San then said that the perpetrator of this massacre was the leader of the invincible Eastern warriors, who was none other than Bu Bai.
师妹，是师哥错了，师妹。
Because of that incident, Ling Hu hated Bu Bai even more and decided to join Ren Wuxing to defeat Bu Bai. Without waiting long, Wuxing, Ying Yin, Xiang, and Ling Hu immediately went to the cliff of the dark forest while bringing troops. When Shang and the sacred Sun Moon troops were fighting the Eastern warriors, Ling Hu, Wuxing, and Ying Yin immediately went to face Bu Bai. Ling Hu then expressed his disappointment to Bu Bai for killing the Huasan disciples. Then it didn't take long for a big battle between them to occur. There Bubai casually fought them and managed to injure Wuxing. So now it's time for Ling Hu to take action to duel with Bubai. That's where Ling Hu remembered Master King Yang's words, which made him get up again and successfully stab Bubai's heart with the 9th Piang sword technique. But strangely, Ling Hu didn't feel any heart in Bubai's chest. Finally, Wuxing used his strength to push Bubai into the abyss. Quickly, Ling Hu also jumped in to catch Bubai, and now it was revealed that Ling Hu was actually beyond help after his heart was stabbed by Bu Kun. So Bubai decided to give her heart to Ling Hu. Bubai also always took medicine from the brains of 3 corpses to stay alive because she no longer had a heart. This shows that Bubai's feelings for Ling Hu were indeed sincere. Then in the evening, Wuxing celebrated his victory against Bubai until he laughed happily. Hearing the laughter, Ling Hu realized that the voice was the same as the voice of the perpetrator who massacred the Huasan students, which means that the perpetrator of the massacre in Huasan was not Bubai, but Ren Wuxing. But when Ling Hu tried to take revenge on Wuxing, Ling Shan immediately stopped him because it would only cause bloodshed and preferred to leave the place. Although Wuxing offered Ling Hu to be his cult representative, Ling Hu immediately refused and left with Ling Shan. Likewise with Ling Ying, who actually already knew about her father's cruelty. As a result, Ling Ying also left her father. The film then ends with Ling Hu's regret over the death of Dongfeng Bubai or Xiao Yu.